Hold on, we can't have that, that's copyrighted music. Cut that one. Okay, welcome back guys to another GTA video, and in today's one, well, as you've seen from the intro music and the thumbnail, we're going for something a little different today. I'm hoping this one will become a regular series on my channel, and it is a challenge open to anyone and everyone who wishes to take part. Now, as you can see, I am in the LS car meet with the test track behind me, and the challenge is in true Top Gear style. Quite simply, it's a challenge to see who can drive the test track in the quickest possible time. The reasonably priced car has already been chosen for this month, but if the series does well, we shall each month select a new reasonably priced car as the test vehicle and see who can get it round the track in the quickest time. I will also be putting up a prize each month to the player who manages the quickest time as an incentive to take part. So before we get into the rules, let me introduce you to the car for this month's challenge. And it is of course the Elegy RH8. Now this is mainly based on the 2011 Nissan GT-R R35, and it does accelerate relatively well from a standstill and reaches a good top speed. However, it does have one downside, and that is its braking. There are also two variants of the Elegy, one which can be custom at LS Customs or in the car meet itself, and the second being the Benny's variant. However, we shall not be using the Benny's variant. We shall only be using the LS Customs or LS car meet upgrades only. And if you do want to take part in this challenge, you can add any upgrades you like, so long as they are from either LS Customs or from the car meet itself. And if you don't already own an Elegy, you can find it in the Legendary Motorsports under the 2-door, and it is at the bottom of this page here. It actually comes in at 95,000 GTA dollars to purchase it. However, if you are registered with the Rockstar Social Club, you can pick it up for free. So it doesn't get any more reasonably priced than that. Now, if you've never been around the test track before, let me introduce you to our new wild racing driver who will take you around a lap of the test track in the Elegy, recently dropped off to us directly from the Stig factory. Now, some say if he were to fart in his own race suit, the odour would travel up inside to his helmet and explode his head. It is, of course, our very own Hamster Stig. How are you doing today? Are you ready to go? Non-verbal then. Okay, let's get on with it. Away you go. Have you actually brought your car with you? You know what it is we're driving? Oh, is that it over there? Purple one? Okay, let's go have a look at it then, mate. After all, we do need to make sure it meets all the requirements and it's getting no special modifications on it. So it certainly looks like a good RH8 from LS Customs. It's not a Benny's upgrade. Nice number plate on there. Okay, everything seems in order. Away you go, shows how to take it round the test track then. And just a little bit of insight here, this footage is actually recorded through screen share and it's recorded on my Streamlabs, and that is the way it will have to be done if you do decide to take up the challenge. You will have to join a private party and share screen just so as I can verify and record the laps. But here you go, with the Hamster Stig making his laps around the test track. You can see in the bottom right there, he is fairly new to the test track with a personal best of only 54.14. But as you can see, he has negotiated those 180 switchbacks with relative ease, and he's now in the fast triple left-hander coming up to the S-curve here. And he manages that reasonably well, taking the second to last bend quite wide, lost a little bit of time there, back onto the final straight, and he completes it in a time of 53.31 seconds, beating his personal best. We do also have a leaderboard to keep track of all those lap times that everyone sets, and as you can see, the hamster stig is not counted in this competition. I think that would just be a little bit unfair. However, we may set a prize if anyone does actually beat that hamster stig time of 53.31 seconds. And speaking of prizes, the winner of the leaderboard at the end of the month will receive a £30 gift card for the PlayStation in the country that they reside. As for the rules, you do have 10 laps in which to complete a fastest lap, and you must join a private party like I said earlier and share your screen so as I can record the footage and verify the lap time. And with that, we have our first contender. This, you may remember him, is Joe. Joe was part of the team that I completed my very first criminal mastermind doomsday heist with, and he was the player that helped me out on the 2-player variant of that. Taking a look around his car, everything appears to be in order. It is an LS Customs upgrade with a blue combination that he's gone for with the colour. But jumping into the Streamlabs footage, we can now jump into the screen share. And like I said earlier, to be able to take part in this challenge itself, you do need to join me in a private party and screen share with me in order that I can record all the 10 laps and verify the fastest lap. But here we go, Joe entering the test track, and once he is inside the test track, what he can do is he can hit his interactive button and bring up the time trial itself. Now you do need to be slightly back from the start line for it to trigger, and there we go. So all that's left to do is for Joe to start his laps. Now I must say, with these first few recorded laps that I have for you, I did have issues actually capturing the volume on the screen share, but here we are just about to start on the fastest lap that Joe did out of his 10, and away we go. Nice line through the first 2 corners, nice and sharp through the first bend there. Bit of a slide, lost him a little bit of time coming up to the first 180, and he negotiates that one fairly well with a reasonably wide entry line to that first one. Coming up now is the double 180, and this is by far the trickiest corner to get the right line through. It does feel extremely slow while you're driving it, but you know what they say, if it feels slow it means it's quick. Coming up to the final 180 here, and it is not too bad. Going round the right hander, and the next combination is the triple left hander. This one, I do like this set of corners here myself. And coming up to the final part of the lap, starting off with this back to front S bend. He negotiates that reasonably well, and can he get this corner? That was nice and tight there, a bit wide on the exit, it's going to cost him some time. Coming up to the line, Joe crosses it in a 55.8. Joe was reasonably happy with that lap time, although he probably could have went a little bit faster with those couple of slides and the wide exit on the penultimate corner. But huge shout out and thanks to Joe for actually taking part in this and starting things off with the very first lap for the subscribers list. So thanks Joe. Next up to take up the challenge is someone you may recognise from my videos. It is in fact Roughwood himself. Now, believe it or not, he did not actually own an Elegy prior to starting this challenge, so he did buy one and upgrade it in LS Carmeet itself, and here you can see he's went for a nice gold look. But jumping back out, and we can cross over right into his screen shared lap. And once again, I'm still having issues at this point with the screen share volume, but nonetheless that's Rough inside the test track and brought up the test lap itself. Roughwood was also fairly new to the test track layout. As you can see in the bottom right, he did have a personal best of 55.45, but we got him round a few laps, and it was in fact quite late on that he did in fact set this fastest lap. So here we are negotiating the first 2 corners, quite wide on that second bend, means he does have a tighter angle into the third corner, and again nice and wide for that first 180. Nice and tight for that left-hander into the straight, and he's taking a very wide angle here into the double 180, and it gives him a nice line into the second one, although that's a bit of an unusual line, but it is all about hitting those yellow checkpoints. So he did in fact hit the yellow checkpoints. I don't know if anyone else will take up that line, but here we are into the fast triple left-handers, which he does negotiate reasonably well, heading down the straight and into this reverse S-bend here, cutting this one very tight and into the penultimate corner and clips the apex nicely. Gets a good exit as well, slightly wide on that exit, but he does in fact finish in a time of 54.81 seconds. We shall need to see if anyone else takes up his line on that one. It's okay if you don't want to chat, it's absolutely fine. Next up, we do in fact have Neutrino, who is one of my friends who's helped me out with a few missions. Here he is, he's got a blue Elegy here. Have a wee check round the car, everything looks in order. It is certainly an LS Customs car meet upgrade, and switching over now to the screen share. And here we can see once I've activated the screen share, there we have it, and we can see Neutrino heading into the test track itself, and he will of course be bringing up the time trial lap. Now you may notice on a few of these recorded laps, you will see up the top of the screen there is the pause symbol and a 2-minute and 40 timer. That has nothing to do with the lap time, that is purely just the PlayStation recording pausing because it doesn't record the screen share. But here we have it, Neutrino coming up to start his 10 laps, and as you can see, once the lap has actually started, it will bring up his personal best time of a 55.98. So once again, not too familiar with the test track, but here we go for the start of his fastest lap, coming out of what looks like a fairly decent lap from what I can remember, heading into the first two bends, taking nicely, and same with that one, taking a tighter line into the first 180, which seems to work out for him, and heading round the left-hander into the straight before the double 180. Catching the first one nice and tight, getting a good wide line for the second one, and coming out nice and tight once again, opting for the more traditional line coming out of the exit and not the Roughwood line. But there we are round the final 180 and heading down towards the fast triple left-hander, negotiating the first two fairly well and easing off just a little for that third one before entering the reverse S-bend, negotiating that one really well up to the penultimate corner, slightly wider on the apex, but it gives him a good angle out and up to the line, crosses it and takes it in at 54.47 seconds. And I think it's fair to say that was a fairly reasonable time. We'll wait for Neutrino to load in now that he's actually come out of the test track. That was a pretty good time, mate. I'm not going to say where you are on the leaderboard, but it's a good time. You'll not be embarrassed by that one. And a huge shout out and thanks to Neutrino for taking up the challenge. The next challenger and the final one for this week is Saz. You may remember Saz from some of my career progress. He has helped me out with one or two of the missions on that one, and in particular the Lamar missions. But here he is, the car looks in order. Nice lime green colour for his one, and it's about time we get started.
Now or never, because I do smell food, so... Now or never. Huddy, come on. Yeah, I'll only do 5 laps. I thought it was a custom-made race. Never mind. I know this track then. A bit.
Time trial.
Time trial. Yeah.
And so with Saz a little bit short on time because he had some food coming, he did in fact only manage to complete 6 laps. So we do pick his best lap out of those 6, but as you can see from his personal best, he's set at 50.37, so he is familiar with the track. And this was coming up his best lap. He kind of made a mess of the previous lap there on the penultimate corner, but starting things off, he does in fact get round the first 2 corners fairly well, taking a reasonably wide line for the first of the 180s, and again feeling slow out, but it does mean it probably will be a fairly quick time. getting round to the first of the double 180s, once again making that corner reasonably well, not going for the Roughwood line, and heading down the straight for the final 180, which he clips really well on the inside line. Heading down now to the first of the triple left-handers, negotiating the first two corners reasonably well, and heading now down into the reverse S-bend, clipping that one, taking a little bit too much out of the middle one, and coming into the penultimate corner, takes a good apex there, getting round the final bend, and he does in fact set a time of 55.44 seconds, which I believe puts him third on the leaderboard.
I'll stick with a 55 for now.
Very good. And coming out, we can in fact take a look at that leaderboard with 4 challengers already set laps. And as we can see, we've got Neutrino topping the list at the moment with a 54.47, quickly followed by Roughwood with a 54.81. There is, however, one more lap to come, and that is covering the right hand side of that leaderboard. And it is indeed my lap. And as you saw from the leaderboard, that side is headed the YouTuber time. So just in case we do get any other YouTubers that want to try this out, they can certainly come along, and the car will always be the Elegy RH8 for any YouTubers that want to take up the challenge. And I'll go ahead and set my time right now. And if you are a regular on the channel, you will know that any new cars that I purchase, I bring down to the test track and do the time trial with all the new cars that I purchase. And because of that, you can see my personal best is a 45.41. However, I do not think I'll be getting anywhere close to that time with the Elegy. But here we go, and making a start, we are around the first 2 bends reasonably well, a bit wide on the right left-hander there, fairly wide for the first of the 180s. I did not hit the apex on that one, but we're heading down the straight, fairly wide line, and into the first of the double 180s. Missed the apex on the first one, got the apex on the second one, and taking the traditional exit and not the Roughwood line. Heading into the final 180, managed to catch the apex on that one, and heading down into my favourite corners, the triple left-hander there. Missed the apex on the first one and on the second one, and a slight slide on the entry to the third one. But here we are coming into the S-bends, and really surprised I actually got that checkpoint in the middle of the S-bend there. I was that wide past it, but coming round the final bend, I got a good exit, heading down to the finishing line, and I completed in a time of 54.83. So there you have it. Any YouTubers out there are more than welcome to come and try and knock me off that side of the leaderboard in the Elegy RH8. But once again, to any of the viewers, any of my subscribers, you are more than welcome to come and take this challenge with me. All you need to do is send me a message on PlayStation. My username is the exact same as the channel name. It is FlyingScott35. The messages are open, as are the friend requests, so either hit me up with a message or send me a friend request. Let me know that you wish to take up the challenge. This one will run to the end of February, and as I said earlier, the person at the top of the subscriber times leaderboard will win that £30 PlayStation gift card. And like I said, I may even throw in a bonus to the first person that does actually beat the hamster's tag time of the 53.31 seconds. But there you have it, guys. I am looking forward to hearing from everyone and anyone who wants to take up the challenge, but that is it from me for today. So if you did enjoy today's video, do leave a like, and if you are new here, why not consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.